one before things get really going tomorrow?
Yeah, we had two, I would say, higher intensity days the last 2 days. So today we just needed to ease back a little bit, get into detail a little bit more on New York. We kind of resisted the urge to start that too early, just to, make sure that we were staying on our own habits first and foremost. But last message, honestly, the message today was just kind of thanking the practice guys for a great couple of weeks. They've, been a huge help, and just kind of letting everybody else know we're ready. We don't have everything in or every coverage in that we'll have later in the year, but we're ready to go compete.
Haven't asked about starting lineup yet. Is that settled?
The huge mystery.
Yeah, I know. But you gotta officially.
No, we'll start Tosh, Ariel, Sykes, Elena, and Shakira. Yep.
I got a good feel for rotations behind that.
Goodish feel for rotations behind that. I think just first game, you just trying to feel it out a little bit. I got a general plan, at least kind of for the first quarter and a half, and then we'll see where we are. Yeah. Which I will not tell you.
I won't stop making this.
No.
What focus do you have for New York in terms of what you want to exploit and what you want to take away?
I am sure not going to say. No, I mean, we're trying to, I think the first game, the most important thing is to come out and establish the way you want to play. Before we get into any game plan or opponent specific stuff, we want to, establish ourselves as an intense defensive team that's really hard to play against. And on the other end, the things we worked on all camp: better pace, better spacing, better ball movement. We got to take care of the ball a little better than we have at times in the preseason. And New York specifically, we know who their players are. We can guess at what Sandy's going to run based on her long past in the league and the personnel she has. But we're just going to try to make it really difficult for all their good players and rebound like hell and try to run it back at them.
Obviously, you don't control the schedule, but do you like how your first game of the year is a test against New York to see how the team matches up against the talent they have and know where you guys need to go with you?
Sure. I mean, yes, I think it's a great, exciting way to start the year for our fans, for the team. We obviously have everybody's full attention. But I think generally on opening night, you have that no matter what. I'm trying to think, last year we started with Indiana. The year we won, I think we were at Connecticut. So you kind of forget the opening night pretty quickly after the fact. It's a big lead up and then it's on to the next.
And then kind of in that same point, how much will you take the first game and be able to carry? How important is that to set the tones?
It is. I mean, it's important. I'm not gonna say it's not, but again, we play about 36 hours later. So we're gonna give everything we can tomorrow night to try to lock in as best we can on New York. There's probably a few things, we'll be able to take and adjust, but we're not even going to have a real practice the next day because we're on a flight mid-afternoon to Connecticut for a 1:00 game Sunday. So I don't think we have another real practice for about a week. So we are, we're going to be full go ahead, try to get a couple things off the film and then on to the next opponent. Great, thanks.
When I think of your journey, I know you've been here, but to have it officially tomorrow, what does that mean to you to be the official Mystics coach?
I mean, I'm proud. It's big chunk of my life has been here. It means a lot that I've been entrusted with this team. It means a lot to lead this group. We have an exceptional group of people, staff and players, and I feel the responsibility of that for the group. So just like I expect from our players, give my best effort, learn from my mistakes, don't make the same mistake over and over, and just try to stay in the moment and do what I need to do for our team.
I actually was in the community with some kids that's been very excited about the season. I look at your shoes, those ones will be yourself. A message to Mystics fans that just they're feeling they can't be themselves, in the inclusive area, they get judged. Just a message to those Mystics kids that want to just be themselves.
I think you said it. Be yourself. I think, despite some of the negativity we see all the time publicly, it's a more accepting world than it used to be. There's more people to look up to, including on our team, for people with, from different backgrounds and different identities, all that stuff. So I think it's easy to get sidetracked with negativity, but it's a lot more accepting place. And there's people out there that we'll accept and support. We're happy they're Mystics fans.
Coach, defense is something that this team prides themselves on. Every day practice is loud, super intense. Can you just talk about how important it is to keep up that defensive intensity and definitely start off with it during tomorrow's game? And then also can you talk a little bit about Brittany Sykes and how big she is in having her?
Yeah, I mean, Brittany fits right into the mix with the group. Obviously, I think our guards, having played against her for a number of years, are happy to not have to do that anymore. And somebody that can pressure the ball, that's got long arms like that has a great knack for disrupting the game. It's obviously why we made a big pitch to go after her. But I mean, defensively, game one, you're trying to just get your habits down. You're trying to set the tone the way you want to play. We're not going to be perfect, but we have the right attitude, which is we're going to go bring it every night on that end of the floor, and we're not going to let our standards drop.
All right, if we're good, we'll move to Zoom. We'll start with Rafiq.
This is Rafiq with nothing but that sports talk. As you get a chance to actually face this newly put together New York Liberty roster, what are your overall thoughts on being the first team to actually get a test gets first regular season test against a team that's expected to have a deep run in the regular season?
Somebody's got to be first. I mean, it's the way the schedule is, and we know the challenges they pose. We don't know all the way they'll do it because we haven't seen them play a regular season game yet, but it's good. It heightens our, definitely heightens the preparation level that we have to be at. I think everybody has their full attention right now on how we have to guard them and how we got to play against them. So I think that can be a positive. It sets a certain tone for us having to be ready to start the season. But like I've said a few times this week, it's one game on our schedule. We have to be as ready as we can, and then, it's on to Connecticut.
One game at a time, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
And we'll take our last question from McBride's on Zoom.
Hey there, Charla with Channel 9. I want to ask you about Elena because I know this is the first season in about 2.5 years that she's kind of said she's coming in healthy and she's not dealing with injuries. How much does that help this squad going in, knowing that you're going to have a healthy Elena?
It's huge. I mean, she's been the best player in the world generally when she's been healthy for us, and so that kind of like sets the batting order for the rest of the team. It's the person in the heart of the lineup that is going to deliver. But I think just her own confidence level and how she's feeling about her game and about her body also trickles down through the team. It's a different energy in the building when she's feeling good.
All right, Coach, all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thought you were about to ask another one.
Appreciate you.
All right, we have Kristi. We'll start with Kareem.
Hey. What's it like to be at this point, first game of the season, you guys been like 3 weeks of camp or whatever it is, returning back, all of it. It's kind of all finally here. What's the feel from you? What's the feel out there?
Good feelings. I'm excited. It's always exciting to be in the pursuit of a championship, and we have a championship caliber team. So it's really exciting. These past 2.5, 3 weeks have been a blessing, just to be back in the gym with my teammates and coaching staff, and extremely positive vibes, and continuing to build that chemistry and staying connected and focusing on the details and all the things that you have to do in order to start a season. But I like where we are. I think he's spoken to it before of, we're not going to win the race in one day. It's a 40-game season, and we're playing for a lot of different things. There are a lot of elements within a season, whether that's Commissioner's Cup, obviously winning the whole thing, beating the teams you're supposed to, winning every series is kind of my approach. I'm just looking forward to it. Looking forward to being back in the building, around the fans, having their support. I know it's going to be rocking and rolling, so I think everybody's excited, and it feels are good.
And you said you and Eric, everybody's talks about, you're not going to win it in one day. It's a long process, and you're not going to be as good tomorrow as you want to be in August, September. But is there any specific facet that you're feeling good about right now that heading into the season that you guys are like, yeah, we've got, obviously you're gonna grow in every aspect, but something that you're feeling good about right now?
I feel good about who I'll be on the floor with. We have a lot of elite defenders on our team that are eager to display their talents. So I'm really excited about that, and especially being on the defensive side of the ball, wanting to hold the teams to whatever number that is. We have the players to do it. And then on the offensive side, a lot of threats, a lot of weapons. You got a healthy Delhi, and everybody's matured. That's what I've noticed since I've gotten back. Is everybody's maturity level. Everybody's dialed in. They know what the focus is. They know what the goal is. And they've a lot of them have experienced it before. They're championship players, and they've had that mindset and approach since day one. So have much to look forward to. There's one of them. But yeah, I think we're in good shape on both sides of the ball, and we'll improve in both areas for sure.
Kristi, with your experience as a coach at the NBA level, what has that experience been like for you since the championship here in 2019? And how do you foresee that leadership carrying over this year?
Yeah, it's cool. Being a coach and being on that side of the lines, having all the responsibilities that I have. And I think the biggest area of growth is just like all the preparation. I don't think players necessarily truly understand, what goes into a practice plan, what goes into a game plan, what goes into what we work on player development. There are a lot of boxes to be checked. So just that perspective has been really good for me. The game's very slow. It's slowed down a ton. And that gives me an opportunity to teach and help others. And that's a part of my job. And it's a blessing. It's kind of crazy. Just Shakira today, we always have this mind candy, and her words today was growth. And she said a lot of things that resonated with me, and it's, you're never too old to continue to grow. And that's kind of what I really soaked that in right before practice. And I was like, wow, because there's going to be injuries, there's going to be trials and tribulations, there's going to be minutes restrictions, there's going to be all the things, whether you're a rookie or a 6-year or a 15, everybody has their own journey and their own growth to be had. And, just basketball evolution, being on the coach's side and obviously still playing, I'm recognizing different levels of growth that I've had for myself, both as a player and a coach.
Kristi, you obviously have a lot of chemistry with players on this roster. How important is the chemistry during the early portion of this season as you guys are trying to find your footing, trying to find your identity and kind of set the tone for the season?
Yeah, chemistry is important, and that's something that won't be lost on this team. We're extremely connected. That's the word I like to use a lot. And obviously, most successful teams have that chemistry on and off the court. And for us off the court, it's like we're family, literally. So I think you'll see that translate on the court. I don't necessarily care how early or late. It's going to be consistent. When you care about the person next to you more than you care about yourself, usually good things happen. And this is an extremely selfless team. We're not priding ourselves on individual accomplishments. It's about the team goal and what we're here to do. And so long as everybody does their job, being a good teammate first, then the stars will align. But I'm not concerned at all about our chemistry or how connected we are.
And Ariel, I want to ask you about the defense with the group.
Yeah. You didn't want to ask me about defense?
You're welcome.
No, you should ask the actual defender.
Sometimes the offense in the past couple of years has maybe taken a while for it to connect as a group. What's the difference between having the defense be able to connect as opposed to maybe the offense that might take a little bit longer to meet the traditions?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is communication for us defensively. And it's something that I do think we are good at right now. Obviously, we'll get better as the year goes along. But I mean, you were in practice, you can kind of see it, how much we're talking and how much we're pointing and actually trying to hold each other accountable for certain positions on the floor right now. So I think it's really good, but as far as our communication, but I know there's always levels that we can go. We can always grow in that aspect. But I'm excited about our defense this year.
Not really. Like I said, I'm excited too because I have very good defenders around me.
I know, Chris.
Great.
I want to ask you, kind of piggybacking on Kristi's question, as a coach, an 82-game grueling season, kind of have to pack up, get ready for the WNBA season. What did you do mentally to prepare yourself off the court, Kristi, not the player, Kristi, the person, Kristi?
I have a good team around me. I don't think you can accomplish anything great by yourself. And so it started, where I was, and that was in Dallas. So the coaching staff, the players, the trainers, I used every resource that I possibly could. On the mental aspect, I spoke with our head of sports psych in Dallas all the time. And that's definitely helped me just kind of regroup and refocus, because it's not an easy task to do what I do. It was a little more difficult last year when we went to the conference finals, and then just running right into LA. But in DC, they've done a really good job of just managing my mental and physical. I think, Mike and E, they both, they've been around the league for a long time. They know how grueling it is and how taxing. So again, just having the support, not being by myself, not alone in it. I probably need to play a little more golf just to get my mental right. But we'll pick our spots.
And then Ariel, I always tell you, support Black women. Where can we find your shirts and shoot and stuff?
It's just the shorts right now. Coming out with a new pair soon here, but arielatkins.net.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a quick one for you. You've been in the league for a while. How do you kind
Whoa.
of process that? Wow, like it's here. I mean, just
Yeah.
being in the moment, being present. How do you process that?
I don't take these moments for granted. Every training camp, I come in with the same mentality I came in when I came from UT. Locked in, trying to be a sponge. I think the only difference is that I do have experience under my belt. And so instead of being so focused on myself and trying to prepare, make sure that I spread those resources and that love to other players too.
Tell them to check the what?
arielatkins.net.
The resume.
No, check the resume. Yeah, I'm trying to get the plug on the one for the shorts.
Can you talk about how great it is as a player to have the freedom that coach gives you guys? I've heard numerous times coach say, whatever five is on the floor, they know what's run, they know what to do, they'll figure it out. How fun is that to be able to play with that much freedom? And how does that also help with getting the pace quicker and tempo?
Freedom is fun. It's a good place to start. I think coaches, our job is to stay out of the way. And so I think that's kind of what E's been implementing, of letting us figure it out together. That alludes to the communication aspect that we have defensively, but on offense as well. And I think we just have a good overall understanding, and we'll get better at it, of who needs the ball, where, and when. That's really what it comes down to, of just making plays, putting players in positions to be successful. And then it's a players league. You got to go make a play. So good start. I'm sure we'll get more detail oriented as the season goes along. But you much prefer freedom versus being joystick a whole bunch.
Yeah, I think, like Kristi said, freedom is so much fun because it allows you to grow into who you can become, and it also allows us to be who we are. And they brought us here for a reason. That's one of my favorite things about being a part of this organization, that it allows you to grow as a person and a player. And so, yeah, it's fun. I mean, also, like, as scorers, you want freedom. You get to read, you get to read the game. You get to play, and you don't have to worry about if you're trying to add something new to your game and you want to try it in a game here. You're not getting snatched, you're not getting yelled at, it's like, all right, you tried it, like, let's focus back on what we were trying to get at. But that was nice, what I'm saying? Like, they're not trying to tear your head off for every little thing that you do, right or wrong.
How have you seen that help with just the speed of the game, being able to take the ball in the back and go?
Yeah, I mean, it's super helpful because you don't have to think about, like, oh, let me look at my coach every time I catch the ball, every time I touch the ball. Them not only giving you the freedom, but it also comes with trust, like them trusting us to know that we put in what we need to put in. And now sometimes you got to take the leash off and just let people go.
Will we see a custom Ariel Atkins fit tomorrow?
Probably not. I'm probably not wearing fit tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta get here a little early.
So Marcus, since Ariel's joined us, from the first time you were here, what stands out about her growth You know, as we hear again, and see her again up close every single day.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, Lil A's always been a worker. She's always been disciplined. She's always been a sponge. She's always had the right approach, had the right attitude. She's consistent. I think there aren't a lot of differences outside of now she's in year 6. I thought she was in year 4. I'm like, time is flying.
Yeah.
She's consistent, and that's the sign of a superstar pro. Just the level of consistency day in and day out, eating right, getting the right treatment, recovery, busting her ass in practice every single day. Like, she's reliable. There really aren't a lot of differences. I'm naming a lot of similarities, but with that, consistency is the sign of a star. Thanks, man. Good. Nope.
We can have one question on
Nope.
Zoom.
Yeah, we'll take one from Zoom. Rafiq.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports. I got a question for Kristi Tolliver. Tomorrow you're about to play your first season opener as a Washington Mystics since the championship year. Like, what is the mindset going into it?
What's the mindset of going into this year?
Yeah, your first season opener as a Washington Mystics since your championship season in 2019.
Win another one.
All right.
Simple as I
Yeah.
can. You good? Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank you.
Good day.
In the morning.
Yeah.